Hey guys, welcome back to Beddenberg's channel. If you haven't been here before, we do product reviews, tutorials, and we have a live chat feature on our website to help you through your Brew 911s. Check it out at beddenbrewing.com. Today's video, we got our hands on two of iGulu's newest optional accessories for their beer machines, the equal pressure bottle filler and the CO2 adapter. We're going to go through a tutorial on how to use those items. Let's check it out. All right, so before we dive into today's video, quick reminder, today's video is sponsored by iGulu. We'll have a 20% off coupon linked below if you wish to purchase any of the iGulu beer machines. So today's video, we're specifically focusing on the two newest accessories that iGulu released. They sent these to us about a month or so ago, so we're finally excited to be able to do an in-depth tutorial on how to use them, specifically on the S1. And the two accessories actually work hand in hand. All right, so up first is the iGulu CO2 adapter. Now this is actually kind of a neat little device that is separate from the S1. It only works with the S1, it will not work with the F1. The F1 actually has this system built in. This allows you to purchase a separate kit, this kit, to work with the S1 to allow CO2 transfers and carbonation. Let's run through a couple of the features and get you set up and running with this CO2 adapter, okay? First of all, you're going to need to get yourself a source of CO2. Similar to the F1, it uses the same blue SodaStream canisters. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and put your CO2 tank into the adapter. All right, from there, there's a couple switches and dials that you need to be aware of. First of all, on the back side here, this is your indicator of how much gas you have left in your CO2 tank, which is actually very, very handy. On the top of the CO2 adapter is a valve that tells you how much pressure you're allowing to go into your iGulu machines or into your Triton kegs. So the first thing you're gonna do, once you get your CO2 tank filled up, you're going to wanna take the included pressure tubing that comes with it, and you're going to pick one of these valves that kind of have the yellow handle on them. This CO2 adapter is capable of not just doing one of your iGulu machines, but actually 3 of the S1. So one of these will run 3 of your beer machines. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and attach the tubing into one of your valves. They put a little black mark on there so you know how deep it should go in. Go ahead and press it firmly until it is seated all the way in there. It does take a little bit of pressure. You don't have to kill yourself, but definitely make sure it's seated. You can check to make sure that it's all the way in there by giving it a gentle pull. It should not release. In the event you want to remove one of those hoses, because it is a compression fitting, you'll press down on the little black ring. You'll hear it click or feel it move a little bit, and the hose should pop right back out. If you wish to unhook the hose from the back of your iGulu, it's the same process. It's the same compression valve. You're going to push down on the ring and pull the hose out. When seating it on both instances, make sure you're going into the little black line at the end of each tubing. So step one, we're going to go ahead and insert the tubing into one of those valves. We're making sure that it is closed. And you know it's closed because it's not pointing in the direction of the tubing. This is on, this is off. You want to make sure everything is turned off before you get everything hooked up. Next, you're going to take your tubing and hook it into the back of your S1. And again, make sure it is seated by giving it a gentle tug. That's seated, that's good. From there, we need to turn on our CO2 tank. So once you have your CO2 tank hooked up, you've got your hose hooked into one of the valves and into the back of your iGulu. Make sure you hit the switch on the back of the iGulu to change it from air pump mode to CO2 mode. On the back of your iGulu is a little tiny orange light and a little tiny green light. When it's in CO2 mode, the light should turn green, and that's what that button switches to. Once everything's hooked up, go ahead and give your orange valve a turn to turn on your main supply of CO2, and you can see how much you have left in the tank with this dial here on the side. This top dial tells you how much pressure you're allowing to come out into the tubing and into your iGulu. So now that we have pressure, let's go ahead and turn on our one valve. And then I'm going to dial in the pressure now that that's ready. This little knob here will allow us to turn this, and I want to try to get to about 15 PSI. Let's see if I can show you and see it at the same time. See that little dial's rising up. And I can hear it hissing as it's putting pressure into the iGulu. So one of the things with the CO2 adapter that I've seen a lot, iGulu has it pictured a lot standing up, kind of next to the iGulus, which I think this actually is kind of a good solution because it's up out of the way. You can run all 3 of your iGulu S1s off of the one adapter. To be honest though, this does make me nervous. I'm afraid if something walks by and shakes something that this will fall over. And the last thing you want to do is break the plastic housing in here or mess with any of the pressure fittings and have a huge mess on your hand. These CO2 canisters, because they're under pressure, can be very dangerous. So buyer beware. If you are going to be using this canister, I don't recommend leaving it up like this unless you can fashion some sort of a wider base for it to keep it from being a little tippy. Otherwise, please keep it flat just to be safe. All right, so step 1, you're gonna take one of your bottles, empty preferably, that you're gonna use to transfer beer into. Now, you have 2 options when it comes to sanitization with these bottles. If you're gonna be bottling it and drinking it within, say, 12 hours or so, you actually don't need to sanitize. It's the same as pouring beer into a beer glass. You don't really sanitize those either before you pour it. It will be fine. Now, if you're gonna store it in your fridge for a couple days and then take it somewhere, just to be on the safe side, I would recommend sanitizing it, and that's what I'm gonna do today. We use Star San, 30-second contact time. You can mix up a batch of it. We'll have links for it below, and that'll get you nice and sanitized. You can store it in the bottle for kind of over a longer period of time. All right, so we're gonna sanitize. The other thing you want to make sure you sanitize, especially again, if you're going to be storing it for longer than just 24 hours or so, everything that comes in contact with the beer. So that includes the dip tube, your filling cap, and your jumper. The best way to do this, hook up your jumper to the cable, go ahead and put this into your bottle. And then of course, we always use a pressurized sprayer. We'll have a link for this down below as well. It kind of minimizes the amount of sanitizer you use. And because it's under pressure, you can actually, if my clamp is open, and it is, just squirt it directly in there, and that will go through your entire line, making a huge mess here, into your line and sanitize everything that's inside. And again, because it's Star San, you don't have to worry about rinsing it. I am gonna dump out the liquid that's in there because I don't want that to dilute down the beer, but generally speaking, it's not an issue. You don't need to rinse it. It is a no rinse sanitizer. Okay, everything is sanitized. You're gonna use your cap in a minute, but put the filler onto your bottle. Step 1 with this, once you get it sanitized and get your cap on there, make sure it's nice and tight. You're gonna CO2 flush this out from the bottom up, flushing out as much oxygen as possible. Oxygen is the enemy of beer post-fermentation. It makes it go stale, you get a wet cardboard flavor, and it will not last that long. So we're gonna flush the oxygen out to maximize the shelf life of the beer we're gonna put in here. So to do that, you're gonna go to your iGulu, you're going to unhook your pressure hose, the pressure monitor. Now that we have the CO2 hooked up to it, you're going to unhook that. You're going to take your jumper cable and hook it to your bottle and hook the other end to your pressure monitor. And you should hear it start to hiss. If it doesn't, make sure your clamp is open on your line. You'll hear it fill up. Once it stops, you're gonna burp it a couple of times. You're gonna see it kind of cloud up when it does this. So let it flush out. Do it again. 3 times should be enough. CO2 is actually heavier than air, so it is actually creating a blanket underneath as it pushes that air out the top of the bottle. There we go. Now we're ready to fill it. All right, once you're ready to fill, it is important to make sure that your clamp is closed because we're going to unhook this bottle from the pressure and we don't want all that pressure we put in there to run out. Right now, this is the same pressure as your Triton keg. That's important for filling to make sure it doesn't foam up. You're gonna unhook your jumper transfer tubing from the pressure monitor, put the pressure monitor back onto your Triton keg, and now this, you're gonna unhook your serving tube and hook this directly into the serving out port of your Triton keg. Once that's done, we're going to release the clamp and we should see beer start to flow. Probably just a little bit because again, the pressure is equal. From there, you're going to gently release the pressure. Don't release all of it, just a little bit at a time. As this fills up, it will continue to repressurize and you'll continue to get beer. The goal of this is not to fill it as fast as possible. You want to do it with some efficiency, but the goal is to fill it with minimal foam. If you do it too fast, it's gonna foam up. You're gonna have issues actually getting enough beer in there without it just being foam. So you wanna do it gently. When you see that it slows down, another little pull, it'll continue to fill. And you do that until the bottle is full up. All right, now that our bottle has filled up, it's got minimal foam on it. Ooh, it's actually quite cold, which is a good sign. We're gonna unhook and prepare the iGulu back for serving, and we're gonna get this thing ready for either store or travel. Make sure that you're taking your jumper tubing that you're transferring it, close that thing down all the way. If you forget to do that, you're gonna spray beer everywhere in the next step, okay? And you can unhook it from your bottle. We're gonna put that off to the side for now. Go ahead and unhook the other end of the jumper from your keg. Go ahead and put your serving line back. Go ahead and seal up your S1. And now let's get this thing ready to go. So we have our travel cap. You really don't want to travel with this on there. It's not really designed to serve from that. And because of this pressure relief, if you snag that on something, you're gonna release the pressure and possibly leak beer all over the place. This is way more secure for travel and storage. So we're gonna unscrew this quickly. You're gonna hear it hiss. Take out that, put the new cap on quickly as possible. It will kind of repressurize a little bit and your pressure loss will be minimal. You'll see this foam die down when you put it into your fridge and it's ready to serve and take with you. All right, so I wanted to run by a couple of issues that we had today doing the tutorial with the iGulu optional accessories. The main issues that we had were really with the CO2 adapter. Some of it could have been user error, but I do want iGulu to be aware in case they've had these complaints before. First of all, when we applied the CO2 tank, it was one that I'd used on this before, the CO2 adapter, to do some other filling of things and to do some tests and whatnot. I had no issues with it, linked up, no problem. I had unscrewed it specifically for this video, and when I put it back in to show people how to use the new accessory, it was leaking from the kind of the screw joint where it goes into the CO2 adapter. So I wasn't sure if something was leaking inside of the unit. I'm sorry, I'm hearing a leak. What's leaking? Is that too far down? It's never done that before. I swapped it with another of these CO2 tanks and the issue went away. When I took the one that seemed to have the issue from here and I actually put it into that iGulu, it seemed to work fine. This one's not leaking. And this was working before. I'm not sure why it's having an issue now. You know, I'm gonna try it in this and see if it hisses. Come to think of it, this was a brand new canister I bought just for that. Nope, not leaking. Not sure what the issue is, but if you do hear it hissing out of here, you may have to get a different CO2 bottle. I'm not entirely sure what the fix is, but if you could help me out, if you have used this before and you've had that similar issue, please let me know in the comments so I can let iGulu know if they have an ongoing issue or if it's something with the bottles themselves. The second issue I had once I figured out where the leak was coming from was hooking this up into the iGulu. I had hooked it up, I hit the button on the back, it turned green, so green is go for CO2. I went into pressurize and it sounded like all the CO2 kept coming out. It didn't feel like it was really going into the keg and it wasn't pressurizing. Like it's not, this is working and it's pumping the pressure out. I found out the issue wasn't mechanical, it seemed to be more in the software. So we had a beer that had fermented out completely using their pre-designed sticker. It was a pale ale, so whatever that fermentation profile was, we didn't have it hooked up to CO2, so it was currently in air mode. What I had done is I'd switched it to CO2 mode on the back, hooked up the CO2, but the CO2 didn't want to go into the keg, it was just releasing it out. So what I did is I canceled that fermentation cooling profile because it was finished, it was in cooling and serving mode, canceled it out, and went back into just regular cooling mode, and that fixed the issue. Then the CO2 went right into the keg was able to pressurize, and we were able to bottle transfer and serve from the iGulu. So again, if you've experienced this issue before, please let me know. It sounds like that may be something in the iGulu software that might need to be tweaked to make it a little bit more user-friendly. The good news is the workaround's pretty simple, but it's not something you would immediately stumble upon because it almost sounds like it's a mechanical issue. It's not. It feels like it's something in the software. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video on the newest iGulu accessories. We appreciate you watching this far. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. That does mean a lot when you do that. It lets us know to continue to bring you these types of videos. If you've had experience with any of these accessories or the iGulu in general, please drop a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. If you've had any challenges or problems, if it's the greatest beer machine you've ever had, let us know, because we want to communicate that both to iGulu and our viewers if we're having issues and there are potential workarounds to make this process seamless. Catch you later, my friends.